Décollage. Liftoff. Greetings to all of our friends around the world and welcome to the launch of ArianeSpace's 24th flight of Soyuz Take 2. We're coming to you live from our Paris studio and we're very glad that you could be with us for the single launch Falcon Eye, an Earth observation mission. The weather spoiled our plans for launch yesterday, but we're back for another try. And we have two guests with us who are going to be telling us all about what happened, what has been happening since we left you prematurely yesterday. We want to go to Kourou, where Stefan Israel, ArianeSpace's chief executive, is standing by. Stefan, I can see you. Welcome to you. How are things going in Kourou tonight?
Things are going very well in Kourou tonight. We are in the Jupiter control room. We have decided to go for the final operations 5 hours before liftoff, and we are going now to make the final operations. We will monitor very closely the weather because yesterday we had to stop due to lightning, so we will see what is the situation in a few minutes. We are monitoring that with our partner CNES, but everything is fine up to now.
And everyone, I imagine, very concentrated and very focused on the mission coming up.
Yes, definitely. We are in a configuration which is not the usual configuration because due to the pandemic, we have less people here in Jupiter with us. But we have our customers and partners. We have the UAE Air Force. We have Airbus Defence and Space and Thales Alenia Space. We have our partners from CNES. So things are going properly, and we are all very focused on the preparation of the tonight mission.
Okay, we are now into final operations. When is liftoff time exactly?
So, if we can lift off tonight, we will lift off at 10:33. Mission duration will be 58 minutes, and then we will have the separation of Falcon Eye.
Okay, Stefan, many thanks. We'll let you go to work. Stefan's going to take his place with his team, and he'll be back with us
Thank you, Jeff.
At the end of the broadcast. Thank you, Stefan. I'm going to take my place here with our two distinguished guests from ArianeSpace, our two experts, Romy Chevrier, Mission Analysis, Raphaël Chevrier, Business Development. Right? Good evening to you both. So to you first, what's been going on since yesterday?
Since yesterday, the launcher and the payload have been put into safety configuration inside the mobile gantry, and the ventilation has been reconnected.
Anything else? There's launchers in...
No, normal procedures.
And the satellite? Same?
The satellite is okay.
Okay. We don't have a launch window.
No.
That, how does that affect us?
Well, I mean, it means that we have to launch at a certain time, an instant time. So we will target the same time as we did yesterday.
When you mean instant time, what do you mean exactly?
It means that we don't have like a launch window. We have to launch at 33 minutes, and that's it.
Is that because of the orbit, the sun-synchronous orbit?
Yeah, exactly. We want to make sure that the satellite is at the right orbit, and the satellite will cover the area it wants to study and to cover and to observe at a certain time a day. And this time is not going to change throughout the year.
Didier's making an announcement. We're just waiting to hear what he's saying. We're continuing the countdown for this 8th launch of the year, the 3rd Soyuz of the year, but the first Soyuz to go up from Kourou, right? Yeah? See, back in Kourou, you can see the teams are in place again. That's the Didier's voice. He's calling out the 10-minute mark in just a minute, the beginning of the automatic sequence, or the synchronized sequence. So this is the DDO who calls out all the milestones before and during the mission, and we're in the final moments of the final countdown. Is that right? Yeah?
It is, yeah.
And we're going to sun synchronous orbit?
Yeah, exactly.
Which is where all or most of the Earth observation satellites go? Is that right?
Most of the Earth observation satellites go to low Earth orbits. Some go to sun synchronous. it's at 98 degrees with respect to the equator, but some other Earth observation satellites go to different inclination with respect to this the equator.
Sun synchronous, also called heliosynchronous
Orbit.
Heliosynchronous orbit.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. The Soyuz mission will deliver our single passenger Falcon Eye into this sun synchronous orbit, and the mission has several milestones that you will see once we get underway. This is called the mission presentation, and we want to go over to Romain. I think this is your department. What are the milestones that we can look out for?
Oh, in a few words, I'm going to present you the missions. The liftoff will be the beginning of the atmospheric flight. These flights will end with the separation of the 4 lateral blocks around the block A core stages. A few later on, the fairing jettisoning will happen. After that, the extinction and the separation of the block A will happen, whereas the block I will be ignited. This stage will keep on accomplishing the mission until its extension to conclude the Soyuz ascent phase. After that, the frigate will manage the missions with the first long burn. Then, we will have a long coasting phase with a loss of telemetry until the acquisitions of the next ground tracking stations, New Norcia, in Australia. Then, a second short burn will happen to circularize the orbit and to reach the separation orbit. After that, the spacecraft separation will happen, but the mission will not be finished yet. Indeed, we will have another coasting phase. During it, all the data recorded by the onboard mass memory will be downloaded. The mass memory will be purged and a new record will begin. After that, a third short burn will happen to deorbit the frigate. At least downloading will be happened, and then the frigate will re-enter into the atmosphere like a comet. And it will be the end of the missions.
All right, thank you for that, Romain. We'll be sure and watch out for all those highlights. Sun synchronous orbit, the Earth is in constant, the satellite is in constant movement in relation to the Earth? Because it's different than geostationary orbit, right?
Yeah.
The satellite is not moving.
Yeah, the satellite orbits the Earth in about 1.5 hours. It makes around the Earth. Yeah.
Okay, we're going to go back to Kourou next, where Marie-Anne-Claire. No, we're not going back to Marie-Anne-Claire. So a low Earth orbit of about 800 kilometers for sun synchronous, is that right? Because the satellite tonight is going to 600.
Yeah, it depends.
Roughly.
Usually it's like
between
500 and 800. So this is like this range of altitude that is usually occupied by such Earth observation satellites. Yeah.
Yeah. So can you explain the ball of yarn idea? They call the ball of yarn where the satellite is constantly going over the same spot.
Yeah, it means that well, for sun synchronous orbit, the satellites fly over like a certain area each day, and the illumination conditions are the same.
Yeah.
It means that it will receive the same condition of the sunlight, and so it's very convenient for comparing images, one image to another.
So that's important if you're the end user, because
it depends what you want to observe, but it's usually pretty nice and convenient to observe a certain area in the same condition every day.
Mm-hmm. So sun synchronous is different from the geostationary transfer orbit or the low Earth orbit, because we can do all of those orbits with the Soyuz, right?
And the missions concepts are a bit different, because on low Earth orbit, the launcher directly puts the satellite into its final orbit, while in geostationary transfer orbit,
sometimes it's
like in between. Like the launcher separates the satellite on its way to its final orbit, and then the satellite will have to make the final
que
Boost.
tous les moyens
Okay.
restent activés pour la mise en configuration d'arrêt de la
DDO,
phase de lancement.
DDO making an announcement there. Countdown proceeding on schedule. The teams and crew are going over all the final checks now, just under 5 minutes. Soyuz is ArianeSpace's middle-sized launcher, smaller than the heavy-duty Ariane, but larger than the light launcher Vega. And she had a launch campaign like before every mission. And I think we're going to go over to Rami to tell us about the launch campaign.
Okay. Well, the satellite arrives by plane and is transferred to the preparation building. There, many operations are done, like the integration on the adapter or the fueling, as an example. In parallel, the different stages of the launcher arrive by boat. The Soyuz assembly is done in the integration building called MIC. One can notice that the integration is achieved horizontally, like in Russia. The frigate is stored there until its filling in closed building called F-cube. After that, the frigate moves to the preparation building to be integrated to the satellite. Together, they are encapsulated inside the fairing. This assembly is the upper composite. 3 days before the launch, the Soyuz is transferred to the launch pad and put inside the mobile gantry. This operation, in particular the tilting from horizontal to vertical, is very impressive. Then, the upper composite is transferred to the launch pad and erected to the top of the Soyuz. This operation is complex and requires many accuracy. Now the launcher is complete and ready for the launch.
All right, so that gives you a chance to see how Soyuz is readied for her mission. Before we go any farther, we want to take a look at what you guys do. Mission analysis, what exactly is that?
Okay. Concerning the mission analysis, there is two times. First, before the launch. The mission analysis consists in the design of the trajectory and of the separation sequence. During the launch, the mission analysis consists in the real-time monitoring called the CVI. I've been working on several campaigns, especially for Soyuz and Ariane 5, and I was inside the CVI.
Okay. So you're the very technical operator. Your side is a little different. Yours is business development, applications.
Yeah.
I think we're going back to Kourou. You can see on the screen there's a red there. And countdown has probably been halted. We're probably going to be hearing from somebody at the CSG. So we're standing by for those announcements. You see in the bottom of your, on the middle of your screen, there is a red there on the green status panels, and we're waiting word from the CSG on the state of things. So hold on, you can see the red there on the green status panels. Those are the boards that are in the on the wall in back of where the technicians, where Stefan Israel and his crews are in the Jupiter Mission Control Room there, which is the heart of the space base. And these green status panels announce the status of all the services provided by the base. And they're green when there's no problem, and when there is a problem of some sorts, we don't know what it is yet, it goes red. And we did see those red bars. So we're waiting for an explanation, so we're going to hold things right where we are for a moment. waiting for word, probably from Stefan Israel, as my earphone falls. Stefan Israel making his way to the podium. We're going to be hearing from him, Chief Executive ArianeSpace, for a word on the situation. All right, if you just joined us, we had a red in the countdown. We were at about 5 minutes, minus 5 minutes before launch, and we saw some red bars on the green status panels. I think Stefan Israel is ready to make a statement. Stefan, you have the floor.
Yes, Josh. So yes, let me explain to you. So the launcher and the satellite were absolutely perfect. Weather was green, but unfortunately we have had a non-nominal reception of the telemetry data up to the safety means. So a non-nominal reception of the telemetry data up to the safety means, and it's not possible to lift off in these conditions. Again, the launcher and the satellite are perfect. They are now going to be put on safe mode, and we will make a new tentative tomorrow evening exactly at the same time.
Okay, Stefan. You heard Stefan Israel, Chief Executive of ArianeSpace, a non-nominal in the... anything else that you wanted to say, Stefan?
So just, again, a non-nominal reception of telemetry data, which must be given to the safety team, the team in charge of the safety, and due to this non-nominal reception of the information, because safety is something absolutely we must respect, and everybody understands that, it was not possible to lift off tonight. We will make a new tentative tomorrow. The launcher and the satellite will be put in safe mode, and we will come back tomorrow for a new tentative.
Okay, very clear, Stefan. Thank you so much for that. You heard Stefan Israel, ArianeSpace Chief Executive, a non-nominal reception of telemetry for the safety team, and making it impossible to lift off. So the launcher and the satellites are going to put into safety mode. We will try another launch attempt tomorrow. In the meantime, check ArianeSpace website and the Twitter feed. And we will see you tomorrow. We'll say goodnight from Paris and from Kourou. And we'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place.